So a priest, a rabbi and a duck walk into a bar, but let's not lose focus. We're here to share a sermon and some side-splitting rumours, right? Meet our beloved Eric, an ordained man, delivering a sermon on a sunny Sunday. But this is no ordinary sermon. No, he's tackling the juicy gossip that's been circulating faster than a hot potato at a kid's party. What's causing all this uproar, you might wonder? It's all about Mary, Eric's daughter, Mary. Her recent behaviour is, well, unusual. The community, with its loving, caring and slightly inquisitive nature, has been buzzing like bees around a jar of honey. The rumours are wilder than a rodeo. Pregnancy, theft, elopement and even alcohol. It's like a hysterical round of the telephone game. And wait, there's also something about nudity. Yes, nudity. But let's get back to Eric. He's there, standing before his assembly, aiming to confront these rumours, these whispers, these tales, not by pointing an accusing finger or naming and shaming. He's too dignified for that. Rather, he's preaching about the human tendency to disappoint each other. Quite a tactful approach, wouldn't you agree? Thus, a routine Sunday sermon morphs into a sitcom. And the congregation? They're gobbling it all up like hungry kittens with a dish of cream. Because, let's be honest, everyone enjoys a good laugh, especially when it's wrapped in a sermon. And that, my friends, is how a rumour gets dressed up for Sunday service. But there's a twist. We have guest stars to spice things up. The Olsen twins, Mary-Kate and Ashley, playing the roles of Sue and Carol Murphy. They add to the humour and wit that Eric so subtly sneaks into his sermon. Ever had one of those instances when you witness something so incongruous? It feels like a zebra at a polar bear meet. Meet our man, Matt, who encounters an angelic vision in white, a lady in a bridal gown, emerging from a limousine in all her wedding splendour at a place you'd least anticipate. Now, there's a spectacle that could make even a mime gasp. This isn't your everyday love-at-first-sight narrative. Oh no, it's more akin to captivation at first sight of tulle and satin. Matt is so enchanted, Cupid might as well have struck him with a dual strike of his finest arrows. His heart is thumping like a drum at a rock gig. As she seeks directions, Matt's usually polished speech falters. He stumbles over his words, he trips up. It's like watching a fish attempting to ride a bicycle, comically clumsy. However, he manages to murmur the path to St. Monica's church, whilst attempting to prevent his jaw from dropping to the pavement. And just like that, she's gone, leaving Matt in a mist of perplexity and the residual fragrance of her perfume. Poor chap, so disconcerted he forgot one insignificant detail, to ask her name. But that doesn't prevent him from fantasizing about church bells and honeymoon locales. So here's a little morsel of insight from this tale of affection and lace. Take note, always get the name before envisaging the nuptials. Enter Lucy, the woman in white who collides with Mike at school. When he asks her about what time to pick her up for the dance, she answers that she can't attend and doesn't seem overly eager to spend time with him. She informs him that an emergency has come up and she had to cancel. Mike, though disappointed, that she wouldn't back out without a valid reason, and they can plan another event to attend together later. Guilt washes over Lucy as she deceives Mike, especially once he departs. Gossip, the one thing that spreads faster than a winter flu. Imagine this scenario, a community food service station with Lucy and Ruthie doing their part for the community by distributing food. The usual daily task gets interrupted by a pair of teenage girls, curiosity shining brightly in eyes. The topic? It's about Mary, as expected. Why did Mary go? Is she with child? The Gossip Factory has been working extra shifts, and these girls are the eager couriers ready for information. Lucy, always the peacemaker, handles the situation with elegance. It's a personal issue, she states, a private one. Her words float in the air, a subtle reminder that individuals' lives aren't grist for the mill. However, Ruthie is there, adorable, naive Ruthie, who struggles to comprehend the idea of gossip. Is with child? She questions, her voice like a soft breeze. Lucy, always the patient sibling, explains yet again. It's just hearsay, Ruthie, she states. Not right to circulate tales about individuals, particularly when they're absent to defend themselves. Hence the two siblings carry on with their task, a bit more understanding, a bit more conscious of their surroundings. The gossip enthusiasts slink off, their curiosity not met, yet their craving for hearsay still burning. It's a moment of success for Lucy and Ruthie, a minor victory against the gossip factory. And that's the first lesson in Gossip 101. Don't accept everything you hear at face value. Sometimes being bad can be an irresistible temptation. Now everyone recognizes our Simon as the picture of virtue, right? But even the best of us have their moments of doubt. Here's where Luke, Simon's mate, a devious rascal with a knack for bending rules and narrating captivating stories of the charm of being a bad boy, comes in. Picture this scenario. Luke, with a sparkle in his eyes, leans in and proposes, "Simon, mate, you should totally leverage Mary's bad girl image to your benefit. Girls have a thing for bad boys." Now, isn't that some food for thought? However, our virtuous Simon, he's not quite convinced. He looks at Luke, wrestling with the concept. "Why would they believe I'm not good?" he inquires, his purity almost tangible. Luke, always the clever one, smirks and points to a group of girls. "See those girls?" he says. "They believe you're the notorious bad boy because I informed them about the notorious Murphy twins saga." Oh, the lure! It's like waving a forbidden fruit in front of an innocent with wide-open eyes. Simon, our virtuous boy, is now trapped in a dilemma. To choose to be bad or to stay good, that's his dilemma. He ponders over it, the notion spinning in his head, a spark of curiosity kindled. And that, folks, is how a virtuous boy contemplates becoming a rebel. If you can't beat them, outwit them, right? This was the mantra followed by our cunning protagonist, Ruthie. In an attempt to deviate the focus from the whirlpool of rumours about Mary, she came up with an ingenious plan. A plan so daring and absurd that it involved not just one, not two, but 5 scandalous stories. Her move was to tug at the heartstrings of her listeners. She spun a tale about innocent Lucy, transforming her from an average teenager into a courageous warrior dealing with an assortment of disabilities, each more bizarre than the previous. She turned Lucy into more of a superhero than a girl. Then she shifted her focus to Simon. Ruthie, with her impish creativity, made Simon unable to speak. Yes, you it right, our talkative Simon, the boy who could outwit a parrot with his words, was suddenly quiet. Those knowing Simon well certainly noticed the irony. Next on the list was Matt. Ruthie decided to escalate matters and sent Matt to prison, painting a picture of Matt trading his medical texts for prison stripes, a stark contrast to the reality of Matt, the hopeful doctor. But it certainly made for a captivating story. Eric was the next target. Ruthie determined that Eric, her father and the town's esteemed reverend, was now unemployed. The sight of Eric, jobless and lounging around the home in his nightwear, was enough to set the gossip mill churning at full speed. Lastly, she crafted a tale about Annie, her mother, changing her from a loving, responsible mother into a constant drinker. This last story was perhaps the most shocking, given Annie's known distaste for alcohol. And thus, with glint in her eye and a playful grin on her face, Ruthie succeeded in stirring up the town with her exaggerated stories. And let's be real, who wouldn't love stories as tantalizing as these? That's how you spin a yarn, or 5 to be precise. Let's take a moment to ponder on the wise words of Confucius, who once said, "Without gossip, a conversation is as bland as a meal without salt." This statement draws a striking comparison between gossip and the role salt plays in our food. Gossip can indeed add a dash of excitement to our day-to-day conversations, but like salt, it must be handled with care. When gossip spirals out of control, it can distort the fabric of reality, tarnish innocent reputations, and create havoc in people's lives. We've all come across stories that have been blown out of proportion, painting a picture far removed from the truth. It's not just about the stories we spin, but the ones we choose to believe in that ultimately shapes the impact of gossip. So, the next time you yield to the temptation of sprinkling your chat with a bunch of juicy rumours, remember, too much salt can ruin the broth.